I think every taxpayer in America, including those in California, would like to tie this aid to removing Newsom and Bass. Now, gone.
Ah, the crime boss. Kevin O'Leary has spoken. We agree.
Part of the deal would be, and I know Trump likes new ideas, here's one, not a dime until those two are whacked from their jobs. Immediately. They are so incompetent, and all of the decisions they've made led to this, and they're still making mistakes. They're horrific managers. Whack them.
Whack them. Not that way, guys. He means figuratively. Fire them from their jobs. Welcome to John Mike Keane. As we're getting creative with the California rebuild, as everyone realizes Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are a disaster. They can't rebuild the state. You're going to have to do some change it. So why not tie the funding, Trump's aid work from the government, make it conditional to Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom being fired or not one dime?
House, I have to say, has said today that he would like to condition aid to California.
Yes.
Condition aid to California. Of course, you are okay with conditioning aid.
I said it the night that this started. I said on your show, there ought to be conditions on aid because
so the
obviously
next time Florida or Louisiana is dealing with a
that's
hurricane,
why I mentioned Katrina.
You want that aid to be conditional upon Washington dictating.
She tried to bring in other states. No, you don't have to condition aid to South Carolina and Florida because they're not run by Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, who has a resting Joker face. You have to do it with California. You have to hold California because they will, you know what they'll do? They'll take all the money, all the aid they're going to get from the government to rebuild California, and they'll just reappropriate and build windmills. You have to tie strings to the money to force their hand to actually rebuild and help people, because we already know that Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have no intention of doing that with any money they make already.
I want it to be conditional on knowing whether or not the state of California, in this case, is going to enact local policy decisions on forest management, on water resources management,
Well, let me ask
so
you,
that it
what's
doesn't happen again.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with
Who wants it to happen again? This is how we got here. Mismanagement of funds. You don't give them more money.
If the Democratic-controlled House decided, you know what, in Florida, they really should not be building those houses on the water. Climate change is happening. That aid that we give you is going to be conditional upon you preventing the building of anything along in all those areas that are prone to hurricanes. You would be okay with that?
If you could pass that through the United States Congress, more power to you.
I'm just asking.
Hold on. I'm the lawyer here. We have rules like that all the time. You have to build Coney Island in Brooklyn. If you're going to build something, it's got to be built in a certain way. So you're going to get the money. It's got to be built so it's
Arthur, thank you. So Arthur is pointing out that is very much something that Congress could do. Would you be okay with that?
I am not for a blank check to a state that has clearly failed and doesn't know how to manage fires.
And it needs to be conditional to make sure that they're not flushing our tax dollars down the toilet. But like that guy said, anytime you have to build in California, there's strings attached. You have to do certain foundations. There's certain limits to what you can build. It's no different than the federal government telling California, we're going to limit your aid or condition your aid to make sure that, say, you do it in structures that help the families that were burned out of their structures instead of using the aid to buy up land to be owned by California. They'll just buy the people out of their houses and tell them to kiss off with no intention of rebuilding any houses along that coast because they're environmentalist lunatics.
I would like to see a partnership between the state and Washington so that whatever money is being spent, look, I don't live in California.
So now we're talking about a partnership.
But if you want us to send you billions upon billions of dollars, we need to have some assurances that you're not going to flush it the way you maybe have flushed it.
People don't have homes,
I hope the Republicans better not give California a blank check on this one. Like Kevin O'Leary said, they should tie it to you don't get a dime until you fire or recall Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. I'm John Mike Keane. What?